What is a life hack that seems fake, but is a true lifesaver? Every male should know this. If you want to get rid of an awkward boner, flex any muscle in your body, maybe an arm. For a minute. The blood will rush to that muscle and away from your dick. Crisis averted. If your ring gets stuck on your finger, Windex will slide it right off. Worked at a jewelry store for 5+ years. Use shaving cream as anti-fog. I used it on the inside of my motorcycle visor. Smear it on. Let it dry. Then rinse off and dry. It also works for bathroom mirrors. You can use it on a small spot so you can still see when you get out of the shower. Shaving cream also removes the smell of urine. If you ever have to take care of someone who is old and or sick and who wets the bed, a little shaving cream on a rag wiped over their buttocks after they are thoroughly cleaned up helps them really smell clean again. It's a bit of a sad tip, I know. But you never know when you might end up caring for someone who needs help with things like this. Nobody wants to smell. A dab of shaving cream to restore a bit of dignity? Priceless. I saw a comment on one of these kinda threads that recommended gently rocking back and forth while pooping. I've never had any problems in the bathroom. But I happened to be sitting on the toilet when I read the comments, so I decided to give it a test drive. I was pleasantly surprised at how quick and effortless the whole experience was, and I haven't gone back to my old stationary technique since. As a bonus, number 1 and number 2 now require the same amount of time in the bathroom. If you have funky armpits and need to fix them fast, use hand sanitizer. I figured this out years ago when I remembered that the smell comes from bacteria reactions, which antibacterial hand gel kills stone dead. Instant results, and the medical smell lasts only a minute. Don't do this routinely though, as it's delicate skin. True lifesaver. If you are ever attacked by a dog, push your forearm into the bite. This pries the jaws apart and prevents them from clamping down. If a dog is attacking you, the best thing you can do is offer your forearm. Push as far back as possible. And then grab the dog by the scruff of its neck with your other hand to hold it. The dog is now functionally muzzled and you have control of its head. The sooner and harder you push into the bite, the less damage the bite will do. You can do the Heimlich maneuver on yourself. Use a chair or countertop. Press yourself against it, right under your ribcage. And press down hard. Should force air up and dislodge a blockage. That rubbing alcohol removes chewing gum. I'd go through a 20-layer deep marketing funnel to get to that tip because it really does work. Also, wow. Thank you for all of the awards, nice Redditors. I completely forgot I left this comment and came back and my notifications had blown up. Rubbing vegetable oil, or any cooking oil, on your hands after you cut up jalapenos or other hot peppers. It gets rid of the awfulness that would normally be left on your hands from the peppers. I rub my hands with oil and then wash it off with dish soap. I can totally remove my contacts after doing this. It's crazy how well this works. Vinegar in a plastic bag with rubber band tied around any faucet will make the faucet like new. I'm talking decade-old rust and stuff gone. And water flows like the first day. It also works on shower head. You can unscrew those and leave them in a bowl full of vinegar. Put your onion in the freezer for 10 minutes before chopping it. It freezes the juices just enough to slow down the process of it turning into a gas, giving you a few minutes to chop the onion without tears. I learned this tip from a kids science show years ago and I haven't had to deal with onion tears since. So many people don't believe me, and then are genuinely surprised when it works. Clean jewelry with dish soap. Since other cleaning supplies might scratch it, like hand soap or anything that exfoliates, or chemically react with the metals, usually that's harsh cleaning supplies, and dish soap is intended to clean glass and ceramic without scratching it and silverware without reacting with the metal, etc. You missed the Dawn thread above. Dawn can regrow hair, charge your phone, and soft boil an egg. If a man is in an accident, car, ladder fall, etc., and he gets an erection, don't move him. The cheapest, most effective, and safest insecticide against roaches, especially those huge water bug roaches that we have in the south, is a spray bottle of mostly water with just a little liquid dish soap in it. Shake the bottle and get the water a little foamy. Then spray the roaches. They will run, scrabble, and attempt escape. Of course. But they will die. The soap film suffocates them faster than any chemicals will. A friend told me about this, and I thought she was nuts. But I tried it and it works amazingly well. Plus it's very easy to clean up and safe around food. Not that you want to spray soapy water on your food. You can also use this on wasp nests, especially if sprayed on them right before dawn, since they are not very active. That way they'll be squeaky clean when they return back to their overlord, Satan. If you're in college, don't buy your textbooks until you actually need to use them. Turn your device on and off before contacting tech support. All your kindling for a fire is wet and all you have is matches and snacks. Any corn chip will light into a ball of flames. From the amazing book Oside Gift of Fear by Gavin D. Becker. A woman alone who needs assistance is actually far better off choosing someone and asking for help, as opposed to waiting for an unsolicited approach. The person you choose is nowhere near as likely to bring you hazard as the person who chooses you. Run your wrists under cold water or rub an ice cube on your pulse points to cool down all over quickly when you get overheated. It seems obvious, but I didn't realize it until last summer working in a warehouse with no AC. Also something I learned in the army on extremely hot days on the range. If you need to cool yourself immediately, dunk your arms about halfway between your elbow and shoulder in ice water, probably will need a bucket or cooler, for about 20-30 seconds. Then lift your arms over your head straight up and you'll literally feel your body completely cool from top to bottom as it moves down. If you're working outside and it's very hot, just have it ready just in case. It's required by the army once it gets hot enough to have sheets in ice water to cool anyone that becomes a heat casualty. So it makes sense if you're out mowing your yard or doing work when it's hot. Nail polish remover gets permanent marker off skin. You know, in case someone draws a dick on your face. When putting a paint can lid back on the can, first put down a layer of cling film, saran wrap. This will stop the lid sticking to the can once the paint on the lid has dried. If you're having trouble staying awake in class at a meeting, see how long you can keep one of your feet lifted slightly off the ground. Sleep on big decisions. You think most clearly in the morning, and often after some time passes you realize you were about to make a big mistake. During pollen season, rinse your hair before bed. Otherwise you're just depositing pollen on your pillowcase every night and then rolling your face in it all night. And then multiply that by how many nights you use the same pillowcase. Use whitening toothpaste and a little water with a paper towel to clean stained dry erase boards. It easily removes ink and doesn't spread it around like rubbing alcohol. Works on boards that have been stained for years. Eating candied ginger helps with nausea. Any ginger really. But candied ginger is much better tasting. Edit. I see this really got people talking. Glad to see other remedies are helping. And the community giving each other tips. Thanks for the award and be excellent to each other. Second edit. Chronic nausea is a different animal and I hope those suffering with it get medical help. Ginger isn't a cure for all nausea. And lots of things can cause it. Such as vertigo, which is an obnoxious thing to have, and ginger won't help. I have that. And it's no fun. I use ginger for migraine nausea myself, which I also get. As a ginger, this comment concerned me for a minute. Got fridge hard butter and you want to bake? Cheese, grate it. It will still be work if you're hand mixing. But it's better than trying to chop it. Microwaves exist. But it sucks when the butter splits. Write a list and cross T off when you accomplish the teensiest thing. It builds momentum. Crayons are flammable and will provide about an hour of light as a candle if you lit the top. If you feel suicidal or depressed, Don't focus on hope. It is enough to just stay curious. Curiosity has the power to keep you alive far longer than hope ever will. Curiosity leads to engaging work, and this leads to opportunity. I was in a very dark, very bad place in early 2018, and all that was getting me through it was that I wanted to know how Game of Thrones ended. Exclamation point. You can laugh at that. I do. If you're going to climb a ladder or work on your roof, wear a bike helmet. Ever have a split butt knuckle? Some of us cold climate people know about it. Dry air plus tight clothing plus clothing layers equals a split in the skin at the tailbone. A split butt knuckle. The cure? Warm water bath with baking soda. Rinse. Pat dry, no rubbing. Dry with a hair dryer. Then apply a layer of Carmex. Cured overnight. Counting really slowly with the goal of reaching 150 is a decent way to fall asleep. If you have any thoughts during it, just let them play out. And if you forget what number you're on, just go from what you last remember. If you make any major movements, just start again. The goal is to force your brain into slowing down and not having any jerky motions or thoughts. And eventually reaching such a level of carelessness that you eventually fall asleep without realizing. Helped me quite a few times. Especially with rain sounds. Hope it helps some of you too. 25% of 18 is the same as 18% of 25. Percentages are reversible and one is easier to figure out than the other one. If you've written on a dry erase board, or any glossy surface, with a permanent marker, like a Sharpie, just draw over it with a dry erase marker and it will wipe right off. Mosquitoes bites be gone. This hack is the most valuable thing I've learned in my whole life. Heat the back of a spoon with hot water. Then apply the back of the spoon to the bite. I usually do it twice for good measure. The spoon needs to be hot enough to keep on the skin without burning yourself. So test the heat before you press it down. Keep it on until the heat dissipates. Bite will stop itching almost immediately. Usually the bite are completely disappeared within an hour. This only works with mosquitoes from my experience. Makeup remover on deodorant stains. Vixella randomly brought it up while talking to chat on Twitch. My husband has a lot of t-shirts with white stained armpits. So I gave it a shot. It worked. Edit. I should probably clarify that I used remover wipes. Just a generic store brand pack of cleansing towelettes on my husband's old antiperspirant stained t-shirts from his bachelor days. He switched to a non-staining deodorant a while back. There are a lot of other helpful hacks for this issue added in replies. I'll have to try denim or dryer sheets next time I find a stain to try it on. Lighting spaghetti on fire to light candles, the big ones, instead of using paper. If you get a splinter that is still partially sticking out of the skin, put a drop of Elmer's glue on it and let it dry. When you peel the dried glue off your finger, the splinter will be stuck on the glue and pop right off with it. This thread is what LPT aspires to be. If you've got a splinter below your skin surface, wrap a banana peel around it. Wet side against your skin. It will draw the splinter out most of the time. I don't know how, but it frickin' works. Banana voodoo. Banavadoo. Bamadoo. Edit. Spelling corrected. Not sure how that slipped by me. Get it? Dot. Oh my good lord, these comments lol. And now silver awards? I hesitantly submit squeegeeing yourself off before getting out of the shower. It's so simple, I was dubious. But just use your hands to quickly wipe off excess water and bingo. You're not cold getting out. You start to cough while eating or drinking. Essentially the went down the wrong pipe. Immediately lift both your arms up in the air and keep them held up for a few seconds. The act opens your airways and will allow you to catch your breath. Also helps food or drink travel downward. My mill taught us this and it's now second nature. Edit change choke to cough. The Heimlich maneuver should be used if someone has food stuck. My gran used to yell, "Put your arms up," when one of us did that. I never knew why. Or This tip makes me happy. Miss my gran. Use a pop socket to hang jewelry on a flat wall bed frame. I use it to hang my necklace up every night. Sounds stupid, but it's right next to where I sleep, so if I forget to take it off I don't have to get up. And it hasn't tangled once since I started using it. Saves the hassle of untangling a tiny chain. Plus you can't get cool looking ones to match whatever. And depending on the quality, they could last years. Mine fell off my phone case, so I stuck it to my bed frame over a year ago. I've had to remove it once. Still stuck there. Still does its job. If you have stains somewhere hard to bleach, like the top of a toilet bowl or a shower floor, put down paper towels first. It soaks up the bleach and keeps it in place while it does its job. This works like magic. Seriously. Note: wear gloves when you remove the paper towels. The first time I tried this on a shower floor, I ended up with chemical burns on all my fingertips. Edited because this blew up while I was asleep, and of course, I used the wrong wear. Dio. Yell at your vacuum cleaner to get your dogs to stop barking at it. If you have a dishwasher, I'm sure you're familiar with the vague annoyance of pools of water being left on your dishes. After the cycle is done, grab a clean towel and hang it flat on the inside of the door and close gently. Don't slam it. It's okay to be open a crack still, and wait about 30 minutes. Your dishes will be completely dry. Edit. You should do this as close to the finish of the cycle as possible when it's still warm inside. If you have the right of way, take it. It makes driving more predictable and therefore caused fewer accidents. Yes. Don't be nice. Be predictable. Being extra nice to strangers when you need help will get you really far. Oftentimes further than you expect. Customer service especially. Seriously. The secret to getting amazing customer service is to just use your manners. It's my job to help you out where I can. But if you're nice, I'll probably move heaven and earth for you. Keep a small squeegee in the shower if you have glass walls or door. Squeegee before you get out after showering. No soap or water stains. Always carrying a $20 with you no matter where you go. So many times I've gone to get gas and find out my debit or credit card gets declined. Truly a lifesaver. Use a wet knife to chop onions. It reduces tears if you have sensitive eyes. It really works. I could barely make it through chopping half an onion without needing multiple breaks before I tried this. Saw it on Life Pro Tips. Just keep the faucet running and dip your knife under periodically while chopping. I still get a little reaction. More life advice than a life hack. But a drop knife doesn't have a handle. If you ever drop a kitchen knife or other bladed instrument, just let it fall. Trying to catch it will almost certainly give you a nasty slice on the hand. Dawn dish soap is better for cleaning tubs than any bathroom cleaner. Consider that when you bathe you're mostly washing of body oil's dirt skin. Dawn is so effective at cleaning oil it's used to clean up after oil spills. You can use a small amount and it cleans pretty effortlessly with circles on a sponge. If your coffee tastes too bitter, stir in a small pinch of salt. Emphasis on small. My mom once threw in a tablespoon of salt into my cup once because she saw me put salt in my cup a couple of times before. It was gross. Learn how to fall. Where to hit. How to disperse energy. It can really save you an uncertain situation. I see that you know your judo well. Salt in your coffee greatly reduces the amount of sugar and milk I have to use, and works better than any amount of both. Using a bidet versus spreading tea with toilet paper. Not sure this is life-saving per se, but it is certainly easier on nature and non-lethal. Use vinegar with a bit of dish liquid and salt to kill weeds. The dish soap breaks the surface tension and helps it stick to the leaves of the plant. I put 2 gallons in a sprayer with a tablespoon of dish soap and a half cup to a cup of table salt. Spray it on in the morning of a day that is supposed to be sunny so that the plants will absorb as much as possible and die. Not reading Attack on Titan final chapter. Take a multivitamin. My mom never made us and I always thought no one actually took them. Turns out you don't have to feel like an old, tired turd all the time. Add some extra vitamin D if you're in the northern hemisphere. Especially if you're lactose intolerant and hate OJ, like me. The small numbers on the top of an average house key correspond to the pin depth of that key. If you take a photo of those numbers to a lock shop, they can make you a spare without having to have the original. The cost of a key is $2 versus a locksmith during a lockout, which can be $200 plus. I have saved thousands of dollars this way because I constantly am losing my keys. One that I saw recently. If you are painting using painter's tape, doing corners or stripes etc., first paint along the edges with the color that's under the tape. Let it dry a little so it won't mix. Then put your color in. It stops the bleed effect because that won't be visible and now the tape is sealed. Egg if you're putting a red stripe on a grey wall. Put your 2 bits of tape down. Then paint the inner edges with grey. Then paint with red. When you remove it the bleed will be grey on grey and your red stripe will be crisp.